Over the past few years, my family and I have circumnavigated the Mediterranean, crossed the Atlantic Ocean, sailed up the Caribbean island chain, and the southeast coast of America. This season, we've sailed down the Caribbean island chain. All in all, we've racked up almost 30,000 nautical miles. In this episode, part 2 of the British Virgin Islands, we start off on a mooring ball in Trellis Bay, Tortolla. With 2 guests, we then sail along playing a kid-made board game to Road Town. We anchor off Peter Island for the night and then head to Cane Garden Bay to celebrate our daughter Sienna's birthday. We'll then take you for a hike up Sage Mountain with a few other buddy boats. We'll show you what cruisers get up to for fun when swimming gets boring. We stop in at Nanny Cay to fuel up and check out the hurricane damage. And a couple other boaties sail with us to Spanish Wells to book out in preparation for our trip to St. Kitts. If you want more information about the British Virgin Islands, including great anchorages, moorings, and more, make sure to watch part 1 of our Sailing in the BVI videos. There's a link below. After enjoying the full moon party, a bunch of us met up at a beach restaurant for breakfast. The weather forecast was calling for strong winds, so the main topic of discussion was where to tuck into for a few days. The consensus was Cane Garden Bay, a very protected bay on the northwest side of Tortolla. With our daughter's birthday coming up soon, I was interested in getting provisions in Road Town, and then our plan was to anchor in Great Harbor for the night, eventually making our way to Cane Garden Bay before the higher winds hit. Traveling with us to Road Town were Mikey and Caitlin from sailing vessel Rondo, otherwise known as Princess Fluffy. Before leaving, we all got off the dinghy, and unfortunately the boat wasn't tied down. Mikey went for a swim to recover it. I think Simon was thankful that he didn't have to jump in. Thank you, Trellis Bay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you. Mikey thanks you, Trellis Bay. While the girls were taking funny selfies, Simon was explaining to Mikey about the flashes on a navigational cardinal in addition to reading the sails.
Flash is constantly flash, 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 flash. The best way to get the sail is get it so it's almost going to break.
The kids also played a board game that they created.
Because you can't put the switch boats on the map, so you put it at the start. Put it right there. The first round, you do not draw the mystery cards. Then you roll your dice, you look on the back of your boat, and it has speed 2. All the small sloops have that, so you multiply 5 times 2, 9, 10.
And they'd pop up from time to time if anything interesting outside happened.
Oh! Someone's refly.
Leah, excitement's over. Back to the game. We're just coming into Road Town now. We're going to get a mooring ball, hopefully, and then go into town and get some provisions. We'd like to get some fruit and vegetables, which are hard to find everywhere, and possibly a cake. So Road Town is located on Tortolla, and it's the capital of the British Virgin Islands. It is situated on the horseshoe-shaped road harbor in the center of the island's south coast. And in 2004, the population was around 9,500 people. The name's derived from the nautical term the Roads, a place less sheltered than a harbor, but which ships can easily get into. A 69-acre development called Wickham Quay, consisting of 2 areas that were reclaimed from the sea and a marina, have enabled Road Town to emerge as a haven for yacht chartering and a center of tourism. This area is the newest part of the city and the hub for the new commercial and administrative buildings of the BVI. And interestingly, the oldest building in Road Town, HM Prison on Main Street, was built in 1774. So that was a very successful provisioning trip.
Very.
We got a cake for Sienna.
We're just looking at all these boats.
And we're looking at, there's a lot of damaged boats here. We got what we came in for, which makes me happy. And now we're gonna go to Peter Island. With it getting late, we headed over to Grand Harbor on Peter Island to anchor and have a quiet night at home. A deep and well-protected harbor, this area is also a popular commercial fishing spot and relatively quiet year-round. It's a great spot to duck into and spend the night after a busy day sailing and provisioning. Great harbor. Thank
you for having us.
Yeah.
It was a very quiet, bit blowy at times,
yeah,
but very quiet and nice.
Yeah, nice and flat.
Yeah.
Very deep though. We anchored in 15 meters, so
about 45 feet.
Yeah, but it was good. So this boat isn't towing just one support vehicle, it's got two.
And a swan on the front.
And there's a big rubber swan,
and a slide.
Floaty swan in the front and a slide. So I think people that go on that boat have a good time. The next stop is Cane Garden Bay, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. So we're next to Princess Fluffy, or Rondo, and we're going through like a cut right through here. So Simon just called them and asked them if we wanted, if they wanted us to slow down so they could go in ahead, but they said no, we could go together. Okay, it was relatively calm 2 seconds ago, and we're coming into a cut. And all of a sudden the water's really converging together. So what we've done is we've turned our engines on. Rondo over there put their engine on. And that's just to make sure that we're, you know, if we have to quickly move out of the way, we can. Oh man, oh man. I don't know what that was. Got a little rough, so things started flying around. Cane Garden Bay was a new destination for us. Several of our other boat buddies had visited the anchorage previously and said good things. Protection from the prevailing winds was our main aim, but I was pleasantly surprised to find several mooring balls, a beautiful long beach, a few bars and restaurants, in addition to a mini market. How has your birthday started?
So good. She's getting hot chocolate with marshmallows and chocolate in it.
We got happy birthday. Happy birthday. Did you see this along here, Sienna?
Yeah.
And then I just noticed this.
8 years old. Happy birthday. You did it right for me.
What's that?
A coupon. One use only. Pedicure and manicure. You have to keep them.
Yeah, it's a coupon.
Coupon.
Coupon for brownies. They'll make you brownies anytime you want.
Ice cream. Free ice cream.
So you gotta have that coupon with you, you know,
Okay.
for you to use it. Where was it?
I'm a toilet.
Find Mum's phone. Open music. Look at new music. 16 new songs for you. Can I have a look?
Katy Perry.
Yeah. Got the whole album just for you.
Yay.
Spend on iPad games.
Whoever did that, I love you.
One more to go behind Mum's pillows.
The puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Oh, the puzzle piece.
I thought it was perfect for you because it's all candy.
It's not candy. I thought.
And they're playing Minecraft.
That was what you wanted.
You think this was someone's birthday? What's happening now?
She's used her coupon. Manicure and pedicure.
When it comes to birthdays for boat kids, it's not always easy to get presents. You won't find a Toys R Us or any toy shop for that matter in the Caribbean. Your best bet is a Kmart or a large department store on one of the larger islands. I usually buy toys when we're in the States or ask guests to bring them out to the boat. I then hide them in the bilge for Sienna's birthday or Christmas.
Sienna, look who's here.
I know.
Are you excited? They came here for your birthday.
From our party guests, she received handmade rubber band guns, a certificate for a dozen cookies to be made upon request, some knitted bookmarks, necklaces and bracelets, and candy. For the most part, all the gifts were handmade, and she loved them.
Alright, how do you feel? Our little baby's 8 years old.
I know.
Can you believe it?
Hold on, quick. Alright, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
We're going for a car journey today. We're going to pick up Murray and Kate.
We met Murray and Kate in Sicily when we wintered in a marina for 6 months. When it came to us crossing the Atlantic Ocean, Murray joined us to help out. And more recently, Murray and Kate crossed the Atlantic on their own boat. It's so great to connect with old friends. Before leaving our dinghies at the public dock, the guys are throwing an anchor off the back to hold the boat away from hazards. Aaron, from sailing vessel Vela, is here demonstrating the process. Vela has an awesome YouTube channel too, so make sure to check them out. I'll put a link to them below in the description. When we booked the vehicles for the day, we assumed that the car hire agent would bring them to us, but that wasn't the case. We had the option of a couple of us going to get the cars and come back, or all of us clambering into the back of a pickup truck together. When I was a kid, I loved riding in the back of a truck. Nowadays, you can't get away with doing that. I think we all felt like kids again. Once we got to the car hire lot, we were amazed to see the state of the cars. All but 2 on the island were destroyed or damaged with the hurricanes. When Simon went around our car to list the damage, the agent told us not to worry about it. The 2 cars then set off for the first step on our land-based adventure. Our mission was to find Sage Mountain to hike a trail and then celebrate with a banana smoothie. As usual, Google Maps took us down the wrong road, but we got a nice glimpse of what residents see when they look out their window.
Probably best to turn around here.
At one point, Simon got the car stuck between a rock and a hard place. With a sheer drop-off behind the car, I got out. Eventually, we found Sage Mountain and went for a hike. There are a variety of hikes you can do. We were told that going to the summit isn't anything special because there's no view.
It's very scenic around here as well. There's big rocks and all kinds of stuff.
So what can I tell you about Sage Mountain? Well, it's 86 acres and it was the first national park in the British Virgin Islands. The park represents the beginning of conservation in the territory. Through a generous donation from Lawrence Rockefeller, the land at Sage Mountain was purchased from farmers and given to the BVI government as a national park.
Alright, I got you guys.
The farmland was reforested with white cedar and West Indian and Honduran mahogany trees, which have thrived along with other naturally regenerated secondary vegetation.
Well, it's cool that they cut into the trees to allow you to get through.
Sage Mountain is the highest point in the British and U.S. Virgin Islands at 1,716 feet. The main entrance to the park is a 5-minute walk from the car park. There are 12 trails through the forest with loops creating a circular route. Although the trails were damaged by the hurricanes, we did not find it difficult to navigate through them. After our celebratory banana smoothie, we headed for the Nanny Cay Marina to visit the marine shop and get lunch. Simon was after some anodes for our propeller, the other guys were getting chain and various bits and bobs. And then we made our last stop for the day, a food provisioning stop. Whenever a cruiser has a car, they'll be sure to find a grocery store and load up with as much food as they can get. To end the evening, we grabbed some more boat buddies from the harbor that didn't join us on the hike and drove up to the bar overlooking the bay. We enjoyed some drinks and the lively atmosphere at the watering hole. The following day we decided to leave the beautiful Cane Garden Bay.
You said you just hit 30 knots of wind?
Yeah, it's down to 17 now.
Well, we're at about 8 knots right now.
Alright, have a safe sail.
So goodbye Cane Garden Bay.
Yeah, goodbye. It was great. We stayed there for a little bit of a blow and it was really nice.
Yeah, we were there for 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
There's mooring balls, lots of mooring balls, but also right behind the mooring balls and in between some of them you can anchor.
Anchor, yeah.
So we anchored the whole time.
It was free.
And there's some great little bars and there's a little mini market there. There wasn't too many charters, like flotillas didn't come through here, so
No.
it was a little bit more quiet than some of the other places.
Yeah, it was nice.
Thumbs up?
Look at the rain coming down. We got out at the right time. It looks mystical and magical.
Yeah, I can hear like the rain starting to hit the top of the spray hood. So Pura Vida's Who Farted, Rondo is Princess Fluffy, and Britican is Sausage Time. Those are our aliases. We're all converging together in the same place right now, and we're all making our way to Leverett Bay with about maybe 3 or 4 other boats because we're all getting in position for the wind to finally stop or die down Thursday, Friday, so we can all make the overnight passage to St. Kitts. So it's kind of cool how people come together and then scatter about and then come back together, and it's great. Getting a squall coming through. The rain has caught us up, so I'm sitting in the companionway while the rest of the boat is getting wet. We're going into Nanny Cay to get some diesel, and the weather is really, really bad. Nanny Cay Marina, their radio doesn't work, their VHF, so nobody knows what's going on. And friends of ours on Pura Vida just went in before us, and there's 2 boats on the dock, 2 waiting outside. Pura Vida is trying to hold it straight, very tight in there. So we all just decided we're gonna go anchor, because it's really, really crazy. Blowing 30 to 40 knots, so I suppose right now is not the best time to get diesel.
Who farted? Sausage time, over.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm going to be there in about 35 minutes.
I'll see you there. Looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, it's sausage time on 6-9.
Fine on 6-9.
So instead of stopping in at Nanny Cay to get fuel and then head to Leverett Bay as originally planned, 3 of us boats diverted to Peter Island for the evening. The plan was then to get up in the morning when the weather was better, get fuel early at Nanny Cay, and then head over to Leverett. Instead of going for a swim today, Hayward on Pura Vida created a zip line for the kids. He attached a line with a handhold to a halyard and then another line to his dinghy. All the kids had to do was hold on to the handhold and then let the dinghy pull them up into the air. The kids had a blast, and I think so did the adults. Simon and I are just going over to our friend's boat and we're having a potluck. So I made some, well actually Simon made some Spanish rice and we're having I think steak fajitas or something like that and black beans. So there's 2 boats going to the 3rd boat and this happens like at least maybe once, twice a week, which is really cool. And here's the Spanish rice we're bringing. Looks yummy. In the morning, we woke up and made the boat ready for our trip over to Nanny Cay Marina and then on to Ehrlich Bay. Knowing that we had an overnight passage to St. Kitts coming up, we needed to get fuel. We could have filled up in Ehrlich Bay, but the cost of fuel was much higher. Simon and I were also interested to see what Nanny Cay looked like after the hurricanes. I'm not sure if many boats, if any, survived in the Nanny Cay Marina. When pictures started to come in about the destruction, this area was one of the worst hit.
There's lots of like buoys in the water.
Okay, so that's the entrance there, and there's some boats over there that are rafted up. Some are actually sunken. And there used to be pontoons all through here, but they're now all gone. And over here, that's the remains of the old restaurant. While we filled up with fuel, I noticed it was taking a very long time, so I got off the boat and just took a few video clips to show you the area. Nanny Cay isn't what it used to be a couple years ago, but it is running. And it was great to get the fuel here, and everybody's super nice, as always. When we got to Ehrlich, we decided to anchor off of Prickly Pear Island, so to have easy access to the nearby beach. Several cruisers decided to have a potluck and bonfire on the beach. The kids all got together and had fun finding beach treasures, and the adults discussed the forecast and logistics for booking out of the British Virgin Islands. Originally, we were going to rent a car with a couple other boats and drive to Spanish towns to book out, but Simon offered to take everyone on our boat over to Customs and Immigration. Many cruisers had been waiting for at least a few weeks to get a weather window to head to St. Kitts, so there was a bit of anxiety in the air. We all knew that the passage wasn't going to be fun, the likelihood of having to motor the whole way against the wind and waves was high, so we just needed the conditions to quiet down. As discussed the night before, friends from Pura Vida and Vela joined us for a trip to Spanish Town to book out. Simon and I will create a dedicated video about booking in and out of countries, but for now all I can say is that the BVI is one of the most frustrating countries, followed by Antigua. It seems like the British Islands are most problematic and the French are the easiest. In the BVI, they just seem to make things difficult and have fines for things you wouldn't know about until after you make a mistake. For example, we had friends that docked in at a marina and were told they could be fined $10,000 as they should have booked in before they docked. The various BVI officials also seem to have different rules depending on who you talk to. Friends of ours booked out and had 3 days to leave. We were told we had 24 hours. Managing the weather, finding a location to leave from, and booking out can sometimes be difficult. Needless to say, we all booked out and should have left the country within 24 hours, but we left a wee bit later than we said we would. We didn't have any problems. The best thing you can do is follow the rules, but sometimes it's not possible, so you have to take a view. Make sure to subscribe to our channel as we'll be doing a dedicated booking in and out video soon. And also subscribe if you'd like notification of our next passage from the British Virgin Islands to St. Kitts. Actually, we didn't make it to St. Kitts. We actually stopped and grabbed a mooring ball on Saba in the pitch black. It was a rather scary mooring to say the least. Subscribe now to find out why. Aside from creating weekly videos about our travel destinations, we also provide how-to videos and articles in addition to sailing guides for couples and families that want to take the exciting leap from living on land to becoming full-time live-aboard sailing cruisers. Please subscribe to this channel and make sure to visit sailingbritican.com to request one of our free guides.